This episode may contain strong language and adult themes. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Good evening. Welcome to the 22 Dropouts, episode 36, apparently. We're getting close to that 1 year anniversary. Will we make it? Well, you've got to stay tuned and find out. And we'll see just how that one goes. Imagine that, a birthday party with everybody who's been on the 22 Dropouts. I think that'll be a great show. Anyway, tonight we might talk a little bit of rugby again. So welcome to my team tonight. Say hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Well done. Julian, hello. How's things with you?
Chilly.
I thought they might be. Phil, are they chilly over in Las Vegas, mate?
I just want to know why Julian's in Chile. No, things are great. We have breaking news. There's actually a cloud out there.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
No.
That's it.
Haven't seen a drop of rain in 232 days.
I like how you've got a calendar that adds this lot up for you.
Well, the old record was 150 days, so we're actually over 2 months past it. It's crazy.
Wow. And Pete, have you seen rain in the last 232 days?
We've had rain for the last 36 hours.
There you go.
It's pissed it down all the time. Shocking. Proper Yorkshire weather. I haven't seen the sky yet.
Yorkshire.
I haven't seen the sky.
I have seen the sky, but the sky does have clouds as well, mate, and rain. That is the sky. It's just not the sky you want it to be.
Clear sky.
Now, talking about the weather, it pissed down at the weekend for some of that rugby, didn't it? So, where should we start? What was the first game at the weekend?
Fiji, Georgia.
Fiji, Georgia. Well, I've got to say, great to have Fiji on the pitch at last. Sat in a motel on the roadside in France for the last 3 weeks is probably not the best idea. It's not exactly the Ritz-Carlton, is it? I think a Route 1 motel is going to be a lot different than the Marriott in Dubai. So, guys, I sympathise more for the fact you've got stuck in a shit hotel for 3 weeks than anything else. But it was great to have them on the pitch. What a good game it turned out to be.
9 tries, wasn't it?
Oh, Pete's Puppy's back. Yeah. It was a really good competitive game. I loved it.
I know what you.
What you want, innit? I didn't see it either. I caught like the last sort of 5-10 minutes or something.
It was nice to watch Fiji playing again and throwing the ball around, running around, and not
Georgia didn't give up. They were trying it as well. They were working really hard.
The ball around as well.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. It was a cracking game. Don't think the officials had much to do, really, did they?
No, they didn't. There wasn't a lot for them.
Luckily.
Was there anything to note in that game?
Armchair refs.
Some of the tries were just bloody amazing. That's all.
Yeah, they were. I think they both did remarkably well. And imagine if they'd been able to play people like Scotland, who wouldn't have got the bonus point win and wouldn't have been in the playoff that they were in.
Oh my God!
Have you got a?
Mind you, they did beat Wales.
Ooh, yeah, they probably would have. Again,
no, they did anyway. I mean, just remind us which playoff Wales was in.
Yeah,
5th.
Yeah, 5th, 6th place, and Scotland were in the
3rd, 4th.
3rd, 4th.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank God
for the big Wales, then, mate. But I've got to say, the whitewash win 28-0 over Fiji probably helped Scotland to get there. I don't think they got there under their own steam.
No, probably not. But I definitely a game of 2 halves, because I thought Scotland were the better side in the first half. But they just, as soon as they got that first yellow card, that was it. The game was over. They scored their try and then scored again, and they're still in the yellow card and beginning of the second half, and that was the game. That was it. They didn't come back from it.
Well,
so what did you think of the yellow cards?
Well, Ireland are a very difficult team to beat once they've got a bit of a lead, aren't they? They're very good defensively. They just shut teams down, don't they? So, once it got to that stage, I kind of knew already that we weren't going to, win the game. We didn't have
Murray and Sexton were on fire as well. Apart from I slept through half the game. Murray and Sexton were playing well, so that didn't help you. That didn't help you at all. But I slept through. I slept through half the game, so I can't really comment on it.
Yeah.
It's funny how you waited until the beginning of the second half before you realised Ireland were going to beat you, because we realised that on last week.
No. Be honest. Stop being an ass, right? Be honest.
No, not going to stop you.
No, stop being an ass.
First of all, he won't be honest, and secondly, he'll still be an ass.
I mean, you can take fucking Stoke out of fucking some people. You can't take fucking Mike out of it, can you? There you go.
Just
be honest.
For our viewers, I'm just going to put up some subtitles on that one.
Yeah.
Well,
be honest. Do you not think Scotland were the better side in the first half?
The
First half, or the first half, or the first half, or the second half?
The second first half, Sam.
Yeah, that's what I wondered.
That's what I heard as well.
Which first half was that?
Ireland started stronger for the first 5-7 minutes or something, maybe up to 10 minutes, and then it was Scotland all the way right up to the last 5 minutes of the first half when they got that yellow card, and then that was it. The game was done.
Pete, is that your stomach? Do you need to go to the toilet again?
No, is that Melissa just opened the door? It's really creaky.
No, she's not there, mate.
Is that not Melissa's tummy growling?
She's
not made her dinner yet.
That's Pete's dog giving him a bit of a.
No, that's.
There you go.
Oh, from the camera.
No, Mel's not in tonight, mate.
Got a date?
Yeah?
Is she on a date?
She better bloody know me or kick her arse.
Hold on a minute, a call's coming through.
During bloody COVID, she better not be fucking out on a date.
Hold on, a call's coming through.
Sam, Pete's going to answer the phone. This is going to make great telly.
Oh, brilliant. Keep it live. Keep it live. Tell them they're live so they can swear.
Hi, Mel. How you doing? You all right?
Put it on loudspeaker.
Oh, we've just been talking about you. Yeah. Shit your pants there, Sam, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, no, not really, mate, because she just fucking sent me a message at the same time saying, what the fuck, Dad?
Dad, why are you talking about me on the show?
Yeah,
how old is she, mate? Just out of interest.
Why the fuck off? I'm not telling you.
Didn't Pete ask that question last week and everybody couldn't stop laughing?
The reason I want to know, mate, is because as soon as you said we talked about going on a date, your instant reaction was, she better bloody not be.
Yeah.
It's like she's 12.
No, it's protective fathers. Yeah, it doesn't matter how old the kids are.
Hey, Mike, that's what all protective fathers are like.
Exactly.
I must be shit then. No, actually, I did warn the boyfriend off.
No, she's 22, mate. 22. Anywho, back to what we're talking about.
Peter, now you know. If you remember, Sam wouldn't tell you how old she was last week, but now you know.
I actually knew she was 22. She told me last night.
She knew. Anyway, back to rugby. So Ireland definitely deserved the win.
Come on, let's talk some rugby, Sam. Sam, talk us through the game.
I'm trying to talk you fucking through the game, but people stay fucking talking about my daughter. Fuck off, Pete.
I haven't said anything.
Right? So, the yellow card in the game, right, for allegedly a deliberate knockdown, because he went out with one, looked like he went out with one hand, but he didn't really actually go out with one hand. He did. His hand was straight and flat, but his arm was coming around to sort of, for the tackle. But
yeah, I mean, we
he knew what he was. I think he knew what he was doing, but it was very well disguised. It was quite, but that's the gamble, isn't it? You put it out.
Well,
there,
a lot of the players are taught to go in with the short arm, the close arm, and to swing the other one round. And if you happen to hit the ball, it's a 50-50 whether the ref says it's a deliberate knock on or whether they say it's part of the tackle.
Well, have you seen any of those calls actually given as no? It's a part of the tackle, because they're really clamping down on that, mate.
I haven't.
They are, but I mean, let's face it.
I haven't seen
players
one
have
given as a batter tackle yet.
players have had 2 years to get used to this, and the whole ruling was, if you hit it, are you in a realistic position to regather? The answer is no. Therefore, it's got to be a minimum of penalty. Minimum.
Well, the thing
And you got to
is,
look as well.
like, was it?
Where on the pitch was it?
Yeah, it was
Basically going for the try line.
just inside their 22, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and they got guys over as well.
They got guys over. He's knocked it down. That's it.
They did have two. I think they had 2 over, didn't they?
Yeah.
So 10
clear,
metres closer to the try line, and that's a penalty try as well.
Yeah. So we noticed though. I know you said 2 years though, Mikey, but Sevens, for God knows how long for, if that ever happened, you were carded straight away. It didn't even. It wasn't. It was just a card, and they still are. But 15s took so long to actually catch up on that law, rule, whatever you want to call it. But now it seems to they've really calmed down on it.
Yeah, because there was the whole thing about hitting up and potentially regathering, and did he hit it up and did he hit it down? And I think they did the right thing by saying, right, okay, it's risk and reward, the same as it is in sevens.
Yeah.
If you're and they qualify that with that, if you're in a realistic position to gather the ball afterwards, then we can talk about it. But other than that, it's got to be a penalty, and then
they did that a while ago. They changed that. They brought a ruling in a few, like 5 or 6, maybe more years ago, where if you slap it forward and go and regather it, it's a deliberate knock-on. So they brought a ruling on, and then they changed the law to get rid of that ruling to say, okay, if you slap it up in the air and regather it, you're technically still in possession, so they can tackle you. So they took it out of the game. So you can do that, but they're allowed to tackle you while the ball's in the air.
That was the assumed possession, wasn't it?
Because you were a few years ago, deemed to be in possession of the ball.
Exactly. So you might think you're trying to go around them, but they can just knock you on your ass, and then you get knock on.
Well, one of the reasons that they did that was to stop people deliberately pushing the ball forward or knocking the ball forward over the head of a defender, so that they could regather.
Yeah,
that's why
which was changed to a deliberate knock on for a while, and then they brought in the no, you're still in possession. So they kind of removed that clarification.
You mean like O'Driscoll?
I thought it was a forward pass.
Yeah, well, it is. It's a forward pass to yourself.
Not if, well,
pass has to be to another person.
Yeah, this was the thing. It was such a grey area.
They classed it as unsportsmanlike, didn't they?
Yeah. But they had to do something and put it in writing into law, I think.
I've yellowed carded so in a 15s game a few years ago.
Yeah.
You bastard.
One of our top sevens players.
I can tell you like that.
I did, because he wasn't expecting it. He'd already won the game. They were like 40 points ahead, and he thought he'd be cocky, and he slapped the ball up in the air, ran round, catch it, and I went, penalty, yellow card, off you go. It was like 30 seconds left.
You want to demonstrate that again, because your internet was shit, and
I think your kids are home, Jules.
They are home.
Kids
yeah.
Are
well, I'm going to do.
Yeah, there you go. Then.
Yeah, no Wi-Fi.
Like he's on the Titanic.
We should just give a quick shout out to the Dubai Sandpit guys, because we're supposed to be there in Dubai right now. So I think we should actually give them a quick shout and say, miss you all guys, and we should be there.
We miss you.
Yeah. Hey! So Dubai Sandpit.
Yeah, absolutely, and some of the guys that I was talking to over the week, people like Charlie over in Singapore, who's probably going over as well. Things are just as difficult over there. They've tried to reintroduce some form of contact. Some of their proposals have been rejected. They've got to go back to the drawing board again. It still is very much ball in the air, and just see.
Singapore was completely shut down, Mike.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Singapore's completely shut down.
Singapore was shut down, and it started to relax again, and they tried to bring contact back in. It's like over here, we've got the go ahead now to bring this adaptive game back in, so you can now, depending on actually not even depending on your tiers, as long as you're not more than 6 people in tier 3, which just it all gets very, very confusing. But we can train again. We can train as part of the adaptive game, and come the 18th of December, we can have opposition. We can have properly competitive adaptive games with no molds and no scrums. But it is a very, very fluid situation that's going to keep changing. And if you looked at the amount of people who tried to dive into Harrods on Saturday just because the shops were open again, you can see why an outbreak like this is going to keep running and running and running, because the world's full of fucking dickheads. And there we go. Anyway, back to the rugby.
That's the health component of this show.
Yeah, no, that was our public service broadcast.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, man.
Your email's shit.
Which email? I send loads of shit emails every day.
Yeah, like, so on I think it was on Wednesday or something. No, not Wednesday, shut up. Friday, I got your email for episode 35 from your Gmail for the link.
Done.
Right? And
everybody
then
else got it. It must be your end, mate.
The one for episode 36 just arrived now.
I think that's got more to do with the internet in Malta being as bad as your postal system. The stuff I send gets to America and Kenya before it gets to you.
Yeah, but you don't have to pay fucking stupid amount of fucking tax when you go to fucking Malta, do you?
No, they don't have to pay that much tax going into Kenya unless the box is open at customs, and then they try and bribe Paul Lawrence for £265. In the end, it cost
for a fucking Acme whistle.
Well, there was, I think there was about 15 Acme whistles in there, and loads of kit as well. But there you go. Anyway, what we're going to do is take a very short break, and when we come back, we won't be talking about Scotland anymore because it upsets Sam. We're going to have a rummage round the rest of the games from the weekend. We'll see you in a second.
When you need clear and concise match official communication systems, look no further than the brand new AXIWE AT350.
Radios are always useful, they always help us, especially AXIWEs, where all three of us can be open at any time, we can have open communication.
Available now from refcomsglobal.net. Investing profits into match official development worldwide.
So, welcome back to tonight's 22 Dropouts, where Pete is struggling with his latest girlfriend and his cup of tea as well. Say hello, Pete.
She's called Mel. She's 22. She looks lovely. She's got the same sort of tongue.
Oi! Oi!
She doesn't swear a lot, though.
Does she not swear? Can you understand this one rather than the other Mel?
Yeah, I can understand this one. This one wants to go out. Mel never presses me to go out.
She wants to stay in all the time, doesn't she, Pete?
I've never known somebody have handcuffs so early in a date. Oh, that might have been the police from me stalking her.
Anyway, welcome back to part two of tonight's 22 Dropouts. Don't forget, check us out on our social media channels. While you're watching Pete down there, or there, wherever he is on your screen, just squirm about with his dog. Have a look at the top and you'll see all of our social media channels. Just go online and search at 22 Dropouts. Here we go. Here we go again. Pete's getting ravaged. First time in a while, to be fair, ever since he had that date with Sam's daughter.
I can't believe Sam is quiet.
Sam's busy sharpening the knives off the screen.
Now, I've got something to show you, boys. Okay, because we all know that Debenhams is struggling at the moment. Philip Green fucked it right up again, and
my daughter's going to lose her job, mate.
Nelly, no.
Well,
yeah.
Back in the day, in not too distant past, there has been an awful lot of, we used to call him the man from BHS in the catalogue in Littlewoods, where they'd stand there and go like that. Well, tonight we've got do that again, Julian. Just look up to the left. No need with the pointer, just a hand. Now put your hands on your hips and do that.
And swing all about.
Because while he's doing that, I'd just like to share with you this. It's the man from CNA.
I was going to fucking bring this up later in the show. I was going to bring this up later in the show.
There's no time like the present.
Oh, mate. Honestly.
I was at a wedding. It was fucking cold.
You look fucking dapper. Was that Rami's wedding?
That was Rami's wedding, yeah.
That was Rami's wedding. You look fucking dapper there, mate. So you do.
All I've got now is this on my screen to my left. I just see Julian doing Man from Sea and April.
You should just be lucky that I didn't get the oddballs out on that one. Could have given them a little bit of a flash because I was wearing them.
You look fucking dapper there, mate. So you do. Not bad for a 50-year-old, I'll tell you.
You know what? The worst thing is,
what are you
one of my
after,
mates had a
Sam?
go
You've
at me.
been really nice to him tonight.
Well, one of my mates had a go at me for wearing jeans to a wedding. And the problem was, when I went to put on every pet suit that I had, pair of trousers, none of the fuckers would do up because I put on like 10 kilos during COVID.
Is that?
I was trying to put it on my belt. I was like, okay, not them. Not them. Absolutely fucking fuming.
You should go and buy fucking stretchy cargo jeans.
Yeah. I think I'm going to buy a few pairs now. I'm parking in
Oh,
Stockholm.
right. So proper preparation prevents piss poor performance, then, Julian.
Yeah, I did not follow the 6 Ps. I definitely did not follow them.
So that was quite recent then, Julian.
That was this weekend, yeah. Two of our referees.
This weekend. How on earth did you lose 5 years between this weekend and today?
What?
Well, you look 5 years older than you did in that photo.
Photoshop. Photoshop.
That was on Saturday. And congratulations to Bea and Rami, two of our referees this week, got married. We had a referee wedding.
Did you all hold up whistles?
No, we didn't. No, because nobody was allowed to go. They were only allowed so many people.
So you just went there for the photo opportunity then?
So a few of us went just to say congratulations when they came out. And they had their family there and they were going for dinner afterwards. But only those two and two others were actually allowed into the ceremony. And then we could see them when they came outside. And they
jeans were fine then. What's the problem?
Yeah,
exactly.
But still.
Good on you. At least you went and gave your fucking condolences.
Yeah, said hi to them, and Bea looked wonderful, and Rami
Sam,
looked like
not everybody's marriages turn out like yours.
Ooh.
My first three
mine did. My first one did, to be fair.
Ooh.
But no, they're gonna. Bea's Spanish, so they'll be having a big wedding down in Spain in the summer if we're allowed to go.
They won't give a shit about Spanish, will they?
So it'll be all day.
Sangria all night.
I've got to say, I do take my first wife, my ex-wife, everywhere with me. It's much easier than kissing her goodbye. That's another story.
Anyway, back to the rugby.
Anyway, back to rugby. So we were talking about cards, yellow cards beforehand. There was a couple down under between Australia and Argentina this weekend. Who watched that?
Yep.
Apart from me, because I can't remember anything.
Yeah, I watched it.
So, what do we think of the two yellow cards? They were fairly similar, weren't they?
No, they were.
You're going to do the other.
They were bang on yellow cards. Absolutely bang on. No complaints.
No, I think it's always difficult in that situation where people are going for the ball. It's hard not to make that sort of contact when they're low, isn't it? Because if you go any lower, you get accused of diving off your feet and sealing off. But yeah, I think there was a definite degree of danger there for me, and they did hit on the shoulder and come up. And then of course we had the next one a bit later on in the game, which ended up as a straight red.
That's the one I missed. I missed that.
So rather than hitting on the shoulder and coming up, it did connect right with the jawline. Between the top, bicep to shoulder. So
was that clear?
If you've gone yellow for earlier, yeah, there's another one. If you've gone yellow earlier, and you've set your stall out, you've got nowhere to go but red on that one.
Did Hoopers not get looked at as well? In the old days, you would call it in the side, but it wasn't in the side now. So he came in and cleared someone out, and his shoulder, top of his shoulder, just connected and no more. But it was like very undeliberate.
I don't remember that one, so I don't know. I can't remember.
They looked at it, but I think they just gave a penalty for it. No, there was a penalty anyway or something like that. But they looked at it, but they let it go.
Well, to be fair, Hooper was in at the side most of the game anyway, so you could have taken your pick.
Well, all good sevens do that, don't they? So.
No, never mind Argentina and Australia. Although I thought the Argentinians played absolutely wonderfully at the weekend. Julian knows what's coming next because he's shuffling in his seat because we're going to talk about Wales turning up against Italy.
Yeah, we turned up. It was quite nice to watch.
I thought it was all right.
When?
Italy did well again.
When was it nice to watch?
It was nice to watch because we won.
Right.
It was nice to see a W at the end of the game, and we scored a lot of tries against Italy. Italy didn't play very well, to be honest. And I got to take the piss out of Bea over in Norway because she's Italian, so I was happy.
So you watched the Wales game as a proud Welshman, and that's all you can take away from it. Is you took the piss out of somebody else online.
The one thing they did in that game really well that they didn't do in the other games was they didn't drop the fucking ball.
I don't know. I think they got finally. I think Wales finally got used to not playing with fans. Like Scotland have been playing really well with no fans, so like normal.
Years.
Yeah, the other is, Julian's really happy that Wales won. Okay, probably, if they played Georgia, they just won. So they've got 2 Ws. Was it 2 Ws?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 2 lowest ranked teams. He's proud. He's happy. He's a proud Welshman. The 2.
No, I agree with you. It's pushed them up the world ratings.
I was quite happy because we looked at the team they put out for it, and okay, they had John Williams switched out for Foxy at the end of the day because he got injured, but Pivac stuck to his guns. He said, "I'm not going to pick our first team in the last game. I'm not going to pick the best. I'm picking the squad where everyone gets game time," and that's the whole point that they've had all the way through. And he's been saying it all the way through. And he could have gone out and picked our strongest 15 and thrown it out there. And he said,
but you wouldn't have scored any more points, though, would you?
No, you lost.
Probably, that's the thing. We might have lost if we put the first 15 out. But he seems to have got the players all game time, got them all playing together. He's looking towards the next World Cup.
Yeah.
So he'll aim to win games in the Six Nations, and then he'll use next autumn again to rebuild and try and play new players. Plus, we've got a Lions tour going on as well. So he's going to rest those guys, if there are any on the Lions tour, that is. I think you might get 2 last from that'll be it.
Yeah, although, to be fair, I don't think that certain shoo-ins from the England team really stuck their hands up for the Lions on Sunday either. Tense, to say the least. Finishing in the last 30 seconds of the game, finishing 19-all, and having to go to extra time, and then Farrell's kicking was sublime. He realised early on that you cannot end a game on sudden death after just 3 minutes. So he deliberately aimed that kick at the post so that he could have another 10 minutes.
To be honest, he knew the penalty was a bit dodgy, and he realised the ref had missed the knock-on just before it. So he probably went, we'll give him this. We'll just knock it off the post and then go, we'll pot that.
Right. Two things here. First, before we go to the England one, did anybody else think that Alamin Jones looks absolutely shattered?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Does anybody else think
he looks absolutely done? What is it? Is that 150 caps he's got?
Yeah, something like that.
He looks absolutely done in, doesn't he?
He looks tired.
Well, I'll be honest with you. People say about different countries and they've got so many centennials and England doesn't have that many. No, that's because we've got strength and depth and you have to keep wheeling out all your old farms.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's not going to make it to the next World Cup.
No, he's not. Not at all.
When he plays, he's immense because and what they're doing in the Wales squad and with the Ospreys as well is they're managing how many games he gets. So he doesn't play every weekend out.
Yeah.
So they've got dual centralised contract, they don't do it.
Yeah. And he still looks knackered.
Yeah.
Even Sam doesn't look that bad when he's asleep on the bed.
They probably stuck him in a room with bloody Samson Lee or somebody who smells like a bull.
Yeah, you got to give it to him though. I mean, 150 caps. I mean, that's an immense freaking achievement. I mean that surpasses anybody. Obviously.
So hands up. Who thinks he's going to get the? I mean, you can even vote now if you want. Click the yes button on your chat. And what the fuck that does on my screen, I've got no idea. But hey, how it's a feature. Thanks, Zoom. Now, who thinks he's going to the Lions?
I think he'll go.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, Pete and Phil have got their thumbs up.
How the hell do you do that?
How do you do that?
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Just like that, mate.
Oh, like that. Hey!
Now,
There you go.
Is that your response to him going on the Lions tour, Sam?
Hey?
Is that your response to him going on the Lions tour? Laughing face.
No, I was laughing because I couldn't figure out how you do that.
This is for all of you for figuring out how to do that.
Yeah, clap. Well done.
Sam's got the clap.
Golf clap.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, I think he's going to be a swan song.
Performance.
I think he'll go. I think they'll make him the captain of the midweek team.
Yeah.
I think that'll be it, though. I don't think there's going to be any more.
I can't see anyone ousting. Nobody's going to oust Itoje right now. The man is on fire.
Massive.
And then you've got to look at the Irish second rows for the other slot.
Yeah. Oh, away you go. Scottish lads have been there, I don't know.
No, yeah, they play midweek, Sam.
Yeah.
Ah, well, I'll still go.
So the other thing about England France on Saturday was highlighted was the French strength and depth.
Oh hell yeah! Weren't they good?
Unbelievable. Wait, what is that? Honestly, is that like this third string team? Third team? Yeah. Was that the third team?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It wasn't all the names they wanted, but boy, did they do well.
Oh, I tell you what.
And boy, weren't England a bit? England were like rabbits in headlights, and then Faz was just fucking shit. Oh, and the only tackle I saw him try, that was almost a red card as well. If he'd connected.
Wasn't it nice after 5 minutes when someone twatted him already?
Yeah, blood pissing down his face the whole game.
I know.
Maybe he blames that on his poor kicking, the fact that his nose is a little bit out of angle and he couldn't get it right.
Yeah, someone gave him right twat and thinking him 5 minutes in the game, didn't he?
The only thing I'd ask the English management to do is let somebody else do the bloody interviews post-match. Because he should not be allowed to speak on camera.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he looks like a naughty schoolboy, doesn't he? Let's face it.
Yeah, but I wanted it right at the end. You know, when he gets the interview, you know, said, "Oh, you didn't have a very good game kicking." Yeah, I wanted to make him more of a drama out of it. You know, that would have been a better line to come back with, right? You know, said, "Oh yeah, poor day kicking." But no, it was. I mean, like, it was a good intense game of rugby.
Yeah, but the best part was the Sean Edwards interview at the end, live on TV, no curtain, and he swears live on TV.
I didn't see it. I missed it.
Did he? I missed that bit. What did he say?
He was not very polite. He was talking about that they might want to revisit some of their fucking decisions.
Is that what he said?
Well, to that effect, yeah. Well, basically live on it, like, blew out the F word.
Let's talk about those decisions, like the 2 knock-ons that were missed before they scored the try.
Okay, we finished that then. So.
Right. we can excuse the referee for one of them because he was on the other side. There's no way.
Yeah, you can. Well, he was on the other side for both of them.
Vunipolas, I've seen it on a small screen. I'm not convinced he didn't lose control or it touched the ground.
Well, is this where he's
got it in his hand the whole time and he goes forward and then moves it back?
Oh, that was a knock.
Yeah, he's lost it.
He lost control.
Even if he hadn't lost that, you could easily sell that.
They should have reviewed it. That is a clear option for a review there. For me.
Well, to be fair, I mean, Ben intervened in loads of things. Why didn't he come in there?
No, I know. He threw in a lot. He's probably been told because he was throwing a lot in the first half, and he's probably been told shut the fuck up at half time.
Who was it who said Andy Good, wasn't it? He's either gone to the shitter or he's eating biscuits.
He's eating biscuits. He's either gone to the shit for a shit, or he's got his head down in a box of biscuits.
That was brilliant. That was.
The worst thing
Andy,
is somebody is going
one
to.
of the things I want to know is, Andy, let's reach out to Andy now and ask him, has Ben given you an answer?
Did he have rich teas or digestives?
Or did he just get rid of some hobnobs into the bowl?
But
no.
Ben's been slagged off royally in the Welsh press.
To be fair, Ben slagged off every time he's doing
every
anything.
time he's involved in a game, somebody gets him for something.
Yeah.
But
now you're going to ask yourself why. I mean, come on. What did we? While we're on the subject, I was going to talk about Ben Youngs and how he must have a dossier about that thick on Eddie Jones, which is why Eddie will never, ever, ever drop him. But we'll move on past that because we're talking about referees now. So what did we think of the refereeing over the weekend? Obviously, we're talking about Ben in the truck.
I didn't think that is it Brace?
Yeah.
I didn't think he had a bad game.
No, did I. I thought he had no big game.
No, surprisingly, he didn't.
Right, and I don't think he had that much of a game because we had the French referees earlier were garbage in the whole tournament, and the French are there kicking off about.
Talking about the French, sorry, Pete. When you stick Roman Platt on the sideline, does he just like turn up in body only but not in mind and spirit? Because he does fuck all.
Well, that's that's the way some referees are. You ever been out with Sam doing it online?
I've got videos of Sam on the line with international teams, mind.
Sam.
Yes.
Did you actually listen to what I just said?
No.
See, I rest my case. See, I rest my case.
No comms again, Sam. No comms.
Oh, I've got another call coming in.
Cameras on you, Pete.
No, I thought Andy Brace had a good game. He missed a couple of things late on. I thought the second from last penalty, the one that Farrell missed, the kick on, they hit the post on. I honestly, when he blew the whistle, I thought that's going to France. And then you saw his body language and it was obviously going the other way.
Yeah.
So I thought that was 50-50.
I thought the referee got tired in extra time.
Yes,
yeah.
I thought the whole team looked tired, like they wished it was over.
Yeah,
penalty at the end, spot on. No arguments there. Even my young French friend Nils, he's only 18. He was losing it completely with the referee, and he's a referee himself. But he agreed that last penalty was spot on.
Yeah, the last penalty. There was no knock on, was there?
No.
Yeah, there was.
Not on the last one. It was the one before it. With Vunipola. That was the only knock on.
No, the French sevens.
French guy with Macalou. Yeah. When he's gone for the ball, he's missed the ball completely and it's gone backwards off England. He's blown a knock on for it. Yeah.
And they give the knock on, goes to scrum, then goes to a penalty, then they kick the goal, and then it flashes up on the screen and the guy goes, "See, you didn't touch it."
But that's the perfect time for Ben not to be having a dump.
Yeah, but he wasn't having a dump, he was having biscuits.
Okay, and on that bombshell, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with you right after this.
So the Axie Sport 250 has been amazing during lockdown when I've been dancing. It's meant that I can come to the park and put my headphones in and just listen to my music without disturbing anyone else. They're the only headset that I've found so far that don't fall off. They stay on and they're not uncomfortable on your ears because they just rest outside your ears instead of actually going in.
Welcome back to part 3 of tonight's 22 Dropouts, where we are dissecting the games from the weekend. More importantly, we have pinned the flippers out onto the cutting table of all the referees, and we are currently removing their entrails, particularly if they're Welsh. So let's talk a little bit. Yeah, knee English. It's like you're married into Wales, really, isn't it? There's a few like that. There's a few that can't make it and they've gone to Scotland as well because they see that as an easier opportunity. Now, let's talk about some
Let's
good
elaborate
refereeing.
on that.
Well, I got to say, all the best referees currently, they're technically Welsh. You've got Brace, who did the final, born in Cardiff. Luke Pearce, born in Pontypool. Nigel's still around. I'm sure we can adopt Wayne somewhere.
Right, so hang on. Before the game, the commentator said this is a good opportunity for Mr. Brace.
Yeah.
It's good for him to step up. Now, you don't want to step up straight into a final, but to be fair, as we've talked about before the break, he did do quite well. So fair play on that. That was, that was a real sink or swim moment, and he could have really fucked it up for himself, but he didn't. So fair play to him on that. Now, we talked about Luke during the break. So, yeah, let's talk about Luke Pearce. Pete, you're saying he's had some really good press recently.
Yeah, he did the Premiership game, and he got commented on about how well he refereed the scrum and the scrum halves, about time and stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, did you notice at the weekend that English referees were much stricter on the ball available 5 seconds?
Yeah, they were use it immediately.
Yeah,
as soon as that
use
ball
it was
showed
coming really quickly.
Use it and get it away. And you could see the difference. There was none of that trailing. Like the Wales have been the worst one for putting that caterpillar in place. And Barnsley was on it like a shot. And every time they'd get one extra player in there, maybe, just to give them a bit of space.
Use it
now.
now.
So it was much easier.
Yeah, because the ball was at the back. Just because you put somebody else in doesn't mean the ball isn't at the back. The ball was there. You've got 5 seconds. Get on with it.
And Barnsley's got that right. He's got it early. He's done it early. And the Welsh players have now got to think about getting the ball away quicker. So it didn't look shit anymore. And the Swedish commentators, they love Wayne.
Yeah, you want to tell us about what the Swedish commentators say.
Wayne and Luke have been over to Sweden a few times. Luke, when he was 17-year-old refereeing. Barnsley's been over to the Stockholm Tens a few times. But the Swedish commentators during the first game, they were commentating with Wayne Barnsley, called him Mr. Barn Wainsey. Barnes Wainsey. not Mr. Wayne.
Wayne's World.
But Barnes Wainsey. Barnes Waney or something like that. Yeah.
I like that.
Everybody who knows him just pissed themselves laughing.
I like that. No, I'll tell you the other thing that I saw at the weekend. It escapes me whether it might have been the Argentinian-Australia game or another one. A couple of early free kicks for closing the gap at the line-out. But then, which is great. I've got absolutely no problem with cocking that pistol early and getting the free kick out and setting your stall. The problem was the teams then just carried on pushing, and it never ever went to a penalty. And those gaps just went smaller and smaller and smaller. And I do believe, you've cocked it, you've given them the free kick. They know what's coming next. If they do it again, and they will, teams at that level will push that and see whether you've got the balls. And to be fair, nobody had the balls at the weekend. There's plenty of free kicks for it, but no penalties.
What did you think of the size of the gaps in the England-France game?
Crap.
Yeah, there was
Absolutely
shocking.
Crap.
There wasn't a gap.
You can see the French guys are pushing the English boys off.
During
the line-out, sorry.
They're both worried about Brexit.
He did eventually manage the line-out, didn't he?
That ball's back here and starts moving forward. That goes immediately.
He did eventually start managing the gap in the line-out.
He talked about it a lot, but didn't do anything proactive.
Yeah, that would be
the problem.
That would be my only thing with what I thought, because I think I mentioned it in our group, in the chat group during the game as well, didn't I?
Yeah. Now, one of the interesting things I heard on commentary was, and this happened in the England-France game as well, about lecturing front rows, which we all know that, yes, okay, they've had the brief in the changing rooms. If they go and fuck it up out on the field, you should ping them. But, international rugby is a very, very different beast. It's TV rugby. You've got to be seen to manage them and everything else. But I firmly believe if you're going to talk to the front rows like that, you've got to go time off. You can't waste another minute of a game while you talk to the naughty boys and try and get them to comply. It's just a minute wasted, and that's not what we want to see in rugby.
Yeah, no argument.
Yeah,
it's got to be. Every time you lecture somebody, you've got to go time off.
Depends how long the lecture is. If it's 2 words, why bother?
Yeah.
But the two words "why bother" or "why bother" if it's two words.
You two, why bother? Just get on with it.
Yeah.
You two, stop it.
You two,
Yeah,
stop
that
Can you
one.
please just scumage?
You
Stop
know
it,
what
or
I mean,
I'm
though,
moving the
don't you?
sentence in here.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that next time. Get the two front rows here, guys. Why bother? Let's go back. Why bother?
Well,
Julian
to be
says, why
fair,
bother?
the best briefing I ever took part in was an oldish lad doing a level 9 game at the end of the season, and he went in and he talked to the front rows and he did them all together, all 6 of them plus the subs, and he went, "Now listen, you're old enough and wise enough, don't fuck it up."
That's it.
That was it. That was his brief. First scrum of the game, he blows a penalty. Everybody looks on him and he says, "I told you not to fuck about." That was it. No more penalties at the scrum from that point onwards. It's great. I tried it. No, it doesn't go down too well with your assessor, apparently.
Yeah.
It would be nice, though, wouldn't it? Phil, I want to know, because you've been very quiet. You've been very, very relaxed and quiet tonight.
Well, I have no skin in the game in Wales, Ireland, Scotland, or England. No skin in the game. Or France.
Did you not watch any?
No, I'm too busy doing other things, Mike.
I'll say what you mean is I forgot to send you my Amazon login like I did to Sam.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
No, there's a few things I think that I'm gonna get a little controversial here. In the
Oh
US.
no.
Yeah. And actually, it's an open question to you guys around the globe. So ultimately, there's a pissing match going on between what a sanctioned match is under governance and what a non-sanctioned match is, right? And we have a very large consortium of about 500 or 600 teams who are breaking away from the national governance, and the national governance is threatening sanctioning against referees who will referee this other competition, which they have no oversight on. And it's turning into a show where the referees are going to be the pawns in this legal argument. And so it's kind of like a whole organization or several of them who no longer want to be under the auspices of a national governance to say, look, we want to go do our own thing. And they could do that, but they said, if you do that, you don't get the coverage under our insurance. You don't get to use the World Rugby Law Book. You don't get to use our certifications. And my response is bullshit. Those certifications don't belong to USA Rugby. They belong to you as an individual, as a referee or a coach or whatever the case is, right? So there's a big shitstorm that's been brewing here in the U.S. And I'm just wondering, have you guys had that any kind of experience? Or do you let Big Brother just manage everything?
Quite the opposite.
Sanction stuff, you tend to get a bit of a rubber stamp, certainly over here. If I want to do something outside of the normal season, or a club wants to organise a sevens tournament, it literally is just an email to the RFU, and they just go, yeah, that's fine.
Well, okay, so what about if you had a private competition? If you had 6 schools or 6 clubs and said, you know what, we just want to create our own private competition. We're going to self-insure. We're going to do everything on our own, and we don't need anybody's help.
Why not?
Exactly.
Well, to be fair, I agree.
Exactly.
Why not? To be fair, over here, if you want to organise a competition, whether it be for one day as a sevens tournament or over a period of time, you can just literally email the RFU and say, we want to do this, and we've got these amount of schools signed up. They get a bit pissed, I think, that you weren't taking part in the emerging schools program or the formal schools program if you didn't want to. I think they get a bit pissed at that. But at the end of the day, you pay your subs or you pay your membership fee to the RFU. You're a member, and therefore, as long as you're doing things right, I don't think they can say no, you can't have it in many ways.
Well, I'll take a different approach. If I have a private competition, why do I need to pay the RFU entirely anyway as a member?
That comes down. So I think it comes down to governance. So the organisation in the USA that is is the governance, or is appointed by World Rugby for governance, would be USA Rugby. That gives me another question: which USA Rugby was awarded governance by World Rugby? Because you've been bankrupt so many times, nobody knows which it is anymore.
That's a good point. I'll get to that in a second. But the Bermuda Tens competition that happened a month or so ago, that wasn't sanctioned by anybody.
No, it wasn't. No. In fact, World Rugby said it wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah, but you don't have to sanction. You don't have to say. You don't have to give people permission to play rugby abroad.
Right. But see, this is where Big Brother, the USA governance, says that if you do that, you don't get to use our law book. You don't get to use our referees. You don't get to do this, that, and everything else, even though it's a private event.
Well, the referees don't belong to USA Rugby, do they? They're not employed by them.
I agree with you, but USA Rugby has a different opinion on that.
All right, well, we all have different opinions until the judge says otherwise.
I've got a better idea. Is that you don't touch the US referees, you ask us lot.
Yeah.
We'll sort it out.
Pete, what do you think's coming in 2021, mate?
2021.
Yeah, every time we come over to the US from Sweden, we get told we have to apply to USA Rugby and get permission to come over for insurance reasons. Now, my insurance with the Swedish Rugby Union and with the Riksidrottsförbundet, the National Sports Council, covers me as long as the Swedish Rugby Union have said you're allowed to go over there, and the person in charge who says that you can go over there is basically me. Yeah. If I say I'm allowed to go to a tournament and I write it down, I'm allowed to go over to a tournament, I'm covered for liability insurance and medical.
All we have to do is
and then my holiday insurance covers me for any private medical stuff, and while I'm there,
yeah, we just need we just need a you send the form in to say I want to referee overseas. And to be honest, I don't know anybody who's had it refused.
I don't even have to do a form. America is the only place I've ever had to send paperwork over to.
So the only thing is, keep in mind the litigious society of the United States. But the problem it comes down to is this: by you sending that form in, all you're doing is seeking permission to do whatever you're going to do. The fact is, there's no verification that you're certified. There's no verification on anything else that comes into it, just saying, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm coming to U.S. referee for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like that. And
basically, we're just telling our union we're going to do it.
If you're under a private agreement or private contract, who cares? But see, this is where the governance comes in, and they're saying, no, because if you do that, we're going to sanction you as a referee, and the allocation is like, I'm pretty sure that's violation of the labor law, let alone.
I think what this comes down to is nothing more than politics within USA Rugby.
We agree.
And that they've screwed things up so badly over the last few years. And let me just put a caveat on that. They had a fantastic opportunity to press the reset button and do it properly. And instead of doing it properly, what they've done is they've taken all the shit that they did before and just turned the gas up on it. And the same shit is there again. And it's going to end in the same bad outcome in a few years' time.
So we know, and look, it's what's amazing to me is that you and I have not talked about this but you
no.
We hit the nail on the head. And Pete was saying this, and Julian saying it. Sam is really quiet, which is okay.
Sleep.
But it comes down to
he's crying about Scotland still. We're taking the piss out of Scotland. That's why.
If it's fine.
And Pete's on a date with his daughter.
It's fine if you're associated and you just say, you know what, I just want to do these games or whatever like this. But theoretically, everybody's an independent contractor. You pay a fee to be a part of the society, and yes, you pay a fee to be a part of USA Rugby or RFU or whomever. But nothing says I have to pay it. If I don't pay it, I don't get their assignments. Okay, fine. Then I'll go do the other side, because there's plenty of them out there. It's going to create such a bifurcation of referees in this country. It's going to be a real shit show.
We a few years ago had a few issues with the union in that we were getting ignored, we weren't getting looked after. So we thought, right, how can we organize ourselves? So we set up our referee society, and we We didn't have a society before. We had it like in our heads. That was about it. But we were assigned technically by the union. So we just set up and registered the organization with the government. So we've got our tax number. So we do our taxes every year, which is 0 because we don't have any incomings or any outgoings. All the money for the referees is paid for by the union, but we actually have a separate organization for the referees. So that if they tell us to do something and we don't agree with it, we can say no.
It's
So
funny, isn't it, how it works differently all over the world.
Asked this week, do we want to come back and have a referee committee? And then we have to report to the union every year. We have to report to the union every time. We have to be answerable to everything. And we said, do we gain anything from this? Do we get any benefit from doing that? And we've thought about it and we don't. So we thought,
look what happened in the UAE a few years ago, where I know they had a problem with 1 or 2 people, and I know that there was a big issue there. And that's why it got taken in house. But the UAE Rugby Federation, I think it is called, they disbanded the referee society and brought it all in house because they couldn't manage themselves, or 1 or 2 people were getting too big for the boot. So it goes the other way as well.
Yeah,
and it will.
We do need to be a bit better on getting the committee together and sharing out work and so on. There's 2 or 3 of us that do most of it. So
as happens everywhere.
It does happen a lot, but there are so many benefits to just separating certain parts.
Yeah.
And letting them run independently. And we have oversight. If we fuck up, they'll take over and they'll say stop, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ours is too top heavy. I mean, obviously we've got 35 societies in England, and we've got the Rugby Football Referees Union, and they sit on the RFU Council and things. So it's a bit different over here because it's probably too structured.
You need more governance. When you've got a much larger organisation, you need a lot more governance in there as well.
Yeah, but actually, I think sometimes that governance creates too many problems. It creates too many tiers for a start, and those tiers all think that they're the most important in their precious little lives. They don't talk to each other. They don't share. You think
that's what I find. That's what I find in the UK, in England anyway. And when I deal with societies there, you don't know. You can see a level 8 referee in one society and a level 8 referee in another, and technically they should be the same. But the quality and how they're graded and so on is completely different at certain levels.
Yeah, I mean, I often found
ranges, right? They not necessarily the same, but they should be falling within that range.
A certain range. So if you get a level 8 referee coming to Sweden, I know I can put him on this game.
Yeah, well, level 7 in Yorkshire and level 7 in Cornwall are virtually the same level, but a level 7 in, say, Leicestershire is more of a level 8.
We've got loads to talk about, and we'll probably carry on talking after you lot have all gone to bed and things. But for now, for the show, it's time to say good night. Good night from me. Good night, everybody else. Take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.